अस्सलामुअलैकुम सर। सर आपकी आवाज सर म्यूटेड है सर। सर आपकी आवाज म्यूटेड है।
जी मैम।
So thank you very much for joining. Now we have our chief guest for the inaugural function, Dr. Fazal Mustafa, who has joined the meeting. So can we start the meeting?
Yes, sir. Sir's mic is muted, sir.
सर आपकी आवाज म्यूट है। Sir, can we start the program for with your permission? सर आपकी आवाज म्यूट है।
पर देखिए मुझे क्या पता मैं भूल गई।
जी चलिए। Okay, sir.
Okay.
Please
Sir,
start.
should we? Okay, sir. Good evening to all. I, Dr. Ishita Chatterjee, Associate Professor in the School of Law, G.D. Goenka University, and the convener of this Faculty Development Workshop, extend my heartfelt greetings and warm welcome to our Honorable Speaker, Professor Dr. Fazal Mustafa Sir, the Vice Chancellor of Nalsa University of Law, Hyderabad, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Tabrij Ahmed Sir, the Vice Chancellor of G.D. Goenka University and Dean School of Law, all the deans and head of the departments, faculty members and participants. It is indeed a momentous occasion for all of us to be a part of this August gathering of the Faculty Development Workshop, where we have speakers from different parts of the country and of high international repute, and it shall be a very good and rich learning experience for all of us after attending this program. Before we start with the Faculty Development Workshop, I would like to briefly introduce our university, that is G.D. Goenka University and School of Law. So, G.D. Goenka University is recognized by University Grants Commission and is the top-ranking private university of Delhi NCR and the best university in Gurgaon. The highly acclaimed university is the higher education venture of G.D. Goenka Group with the path-breaking legacy of 26 years in education. The leading university is offering a wide range of programs for doctorate, degree, diploma, and certification. Our student community is enrolled from around the globe to imbibe world-class knowledge and skills in their chosen discipline of studies. This is achieved under the most accomplished guidance of leading masters in this field, which is our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Tabrij Ahmed Sir, our respected Registrar, Dr. Dhirinder Singh Parihar Sir, and excellent management of the G.D. Goenka Group, and of course, our hand-picked faculties from India and abroad. We have been awarded with QS iGauge Diamond Rated University in Teaching and Learning. We have got international membership with Association of Indian University Association, with Commonwealth Universities and International Association of Universities. Talking about School of Law, the School of Law aims to explore and identify novel areas of law and policy through relentless engagement in developing legal theory and practice, academic potential, critical analytical ability, and advocacy skills so as to fully equip the students with a learning which is intellectually stimulating, socially vital, and professionally enriching. The GD Goenka School of Law offers 3 years LLB Honors Program, 5 years integrated BA, BBA, BCom, LLB Honors Program, LLM and doctoral program that helps students to acquire wider perspective both for managerial responsibilities and professional application. With this, I would request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Dr. Tabrij Ahmed, Sir, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Ishita, for brief of the university and the law school. Let me welcome you all for finding time and also attending this program. This is a very momentous occasion, as mentioned by Dr. Ishita, that one of the world-renowned scholar and academician, Dr. Faizan Mustafa, my teacher, philosopher, and guide, who has joined today to deliver the inaugural address and also share his thoughts on law teaching and legal research. In fact, what we understand, there is no training center for India to train the law teachers. That's why these programs are very important. Great chance for all of us to discuss about the new pedagogy, innovations in teaching and legal research, and also try to explore the ideas that how we can go to next level and build up the capacity in the law teaching. We know that because of the pandemic for the last 2 years, we have shifted from offline to online mode. It has given another kind of thought process that how we can survive in this pandemic, and also we can maintain the quality of the teaching and learning in this new mode. One way it is very kind of important to understand that the great shift, because it has pros and cons, and also because this is the only system that we can survive because of the online medium. This is giving a lot of chance to have the very quick meeting, fast meeting, and also it is giving chance to internationalize, collaborate, coordinate, and share the ideas. So one way it is very efficient, fast, and very beneficial for all of us. But also it may have the lot of other challenges, because the kind of learning, quality of learning happening in the face-to-face system in the legal education, because it is a kind of skill education where a lot of focus is there on the quality of presentation, quality of research, quality of argumentation. That may not be always possible in the online mode. So it means that we have to go and see in detail and to understand that how we can not only balance the quality in the online mode, but also go to next level in the teaching and legal research. We are really grateful to all the participants who has actually found time to attend this program, because this shows your kind of flavor for teaching. This shows your academic bent of mind that you are attending this program. I'm sure it will be kind of great experience to all of you. It's going to be great value addition to all of you. We have very renowned speakers in all the sessions. We have different sessions, and also kept especially as a workshop, because we expect all of you to go on learning and also working. So we were expecting you to submit the proposal, submit the research paper after the program, just to see that how you have learned and what was your level today and how you improved during the 2 weeks program. Now, not much time now, because our chief guest is here, Dr. Faizan Mustafa, my teacher. Now we can go ahead with his great learning process. We know very well that sir is running a laws legal awareness series on the YouTube that has more than 500,000 followers. This shows that the kind of the quality of content delivered by sir. This shows that the kind of importance of this program, and this shows that how important his thoughts and ideas are there. We are lucky. We are actually, in fact, we are feeling honored that sir has found time to share his thoughts with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It was indeed very much inspiring and motivating for us. And definitely we have very renowned speaker with us. I wanted to introduce our honorable guest, chief guest today to our participants. We have with us, and we are very fortunate to have with us, Professor Dr. Faizan Mustafa, sir. He is the Vice Chancellor of Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad. He was the founder Vice Chancellor of National Law University, Orissa. He has also served as Dean, Faculty of Law, Aligarh Muslim University, and Registrar of AMU. He is the founder director of KIT Law School. He is the advisor to National Law School and Judicial Academy, Assam. He is known for his institution building abilities and democratic leadership. He is also visiting faculty to various reputed institutions in India and abroad. He has visited and lectured in several countries of the world. He has earlier served in UAE and Africa. Professor Mustafa is a gold medalist in LLM from Aligarh Muslim University. He completed his PhD in copyright law. He has also a diploma in international and comparative human rights from the International Institute of Human Rights, France. He has also consulted in drafting in Eritrean Constitution and Asian Human Rights Charter of Asian Human Rights Commission, Hong Kong. As a keen researcher and avid academician, Sir has authored several books and has about 100 national and international papers to his credit. Supreme Court of India has also quoted his article in its decision on right to die. He has worked in unexplored areas like copyright law, HIV law, Article 356, strict liability law, freedom of information law, religious conversion laws, and various other laws. Thank you so much, sir. We are really very much honored, and from deep of my heart, I want to express my gratitude for accepting our invitation and to be the speaker of today's occasion. With this, I would request Professor Dr. Faizan Mustafa, sir, to address the gathering.
He's on a call. He just joined now.
So as I said, that it gives me immense pleasure in addressing Vice Chancellor Tabrez Ahmed, and I wish him all the best and many more tenures as the Vice Chancellors. Ishita was very kind, but this is what a law teacher has to do. The introduction she was reading was an outdated introduction which she copied from or read from some website. So in between, the number of articles from 100 has gone to 300. And it is also in Sabrimala judgment that the Supreme Court quoted me. So on the very first point, you see what a law teacher has to do is to keep himself or herself updated. Get my point? How come you cannot even see the updated profile and reading out from an outdated one? Anyway, so teaching is a noble profession. And I am reminded of a old story that when Aurangzeb imprisoned Shah Jahan in front of Taj Mahal in the fort, and then he asked, "What do you want?" So Shah Jahan said, "Send me some kids to whom I can teach." And Aurangzeb said that that means your habit of ruling has not yet come to an end. A teacher does rule over his students. But remember, in a modern age of knowledge explosion, in a modern age of internet, a teacher who gives merely the information, and at times if he gives outdated information, will not rule and cannot rule, will be rather ridiculed. And therefore, any teacher today who is going to the class must make sure whether today he is going to give only information in 50 minutes. And if it is just an information, it is a useless lecture. Students will not come here for your class. They will sleep in your class, or they will talk ill about you after the class. If you are not in a government university, but in a private university like yours, where students are paying very high fees, their expectations are much more. You have to do better than teachers of even any national law university. And to do that, first of all, you have to be passionate about your teaching. In the introduction of the Goenka University, there was a sentence, hand-picked faculty. Now, hand-picked is a negative term. The Prime Minister and Chief Ministers hand-pick their ministers because they want yes men. A Vice Chancellor hand-picks the Provost and the wardens. The President of India, on the recommendation of the Prime Minister, hand-picks governors. But when you are recruiting teachers, you are not hand-picking. You are selecting them, and selecting them after a rigorous process. Selecting them after doing various short listings, and selecting them on merit. When you pick up anyone as teacher on merit, it is not called hand-picked. So already I have given 2-3 lessons to Ishita. Tabrez is used to my style of teaching. I am an old horse. Myself have gone out of fashion. Such kind of teaching which I do has become a relic of past. You are a generation next teachers. You do things better than us. And you do things faster than us. And therefore, many things which I am going to say today may not be of much relevance. I feel teachers are not made. Teachers are born. If you feel today that you are not a natural teacher, there are so many opportunities. Try something else. I remember a teacher of mine, when I was doing LLM and I was offered assistant professorship, said, don't accept the offer. Write civil services exam. Teacher को मिलता ही क्या है? You can easily become an IAS officer. If you compare salaries, then it is better to open a pawn shop. No income tax, lot of earning. Whenever you want, you can close. Whenever you want, you can open. If you want to be a teacher, then you will not drive a Mercedes. Then you have to be okay with austerity, with a simple lifestyle. Of course, today's salaries are such that I cannot say कि दाल रोटी मिलेगी. No, you can also have chicken and mutton once or twice a week. And if you are in a private institution like yours, I don't know what is your salary, packages, but I'm inclined to believe it may be better than UGC, if not UGC. If it is less, the vice chancellor should take up with that management. A vice chancellor must side with the teachers, not with the management. So you should do teaching only when you are passionate about it. And if you are passionate about teaching, you need not make any effort. It will come naturally to you. Even today, after teaching for 3 decades, I don't get a sleep when I have a class next day. I do not go to the class without 4 or 5 hours of preparation. My initial 5 minutes, even today in the class, are difficult for me. As a teacher, you have to compete with yourself. There is an Urdu couplet, Harif koi aur dusra nahi mera. There is no competitor of mine. Harif koi aur dusra nahi mera. Sada mujhi se raha muqabla mera. You have to compete with yourself. If last year you taught something like this year's class has to be an improvement over last year's class. Since in teaching you have 30, 35 years, maybe you are not a good student. Maybe your heart was somewhere else. You are doing teaching out of compulsion. You have all the time in the world. All the time in the world to acquire the skills. In the poetry, there are 2 kinds of things. One is called Amad Hona, that on its own, the couplets come to you. The other is you make an effort, Aurd. You learn hard way. Those of you who are not passionate and wants to stay in teaching must learn it hard way. And when you put in extra effort, it will soon become your habit. You will start enjoying. Enjoy teaching. Don't treat it as a compulsion, as something you have to do because you have to make a livelihood out of teaching. Look at our ancient Hindu system of teaching. You must have heard of Brahmacharya for 25 years when you are in the ashram of your guru. It's a residential system. It is not day boarding. You will come in the morning in Goenka bus and go in the evening in the Goenka bus. That is not ancient Hindu system of teaching learning. 100% residential, both with teacher as well as taught. You are not supposed to pay for your food. No one will make your food. You have to beg your food. Look at the wisdom of our Hindu sages. Your guru is teaching you to go around and beg your food. Because when you beg, your hand is like this. When you give, your hand is like this. When your hand is like this, you become arrogant. When your hand is like this, you become humble. A teacher has to be passionate, and a teacher has to be humble. Humble does not mean you should be a weak teacher. Tabrez knows it. I had an image of a very tough teacher. But humility as a value of life, humility with fellow human beings, I always say it is the best time to do law teaching. Why? When I used to teach in the initial years, only in Hindustan Times, there used to be one weekly column, Legal Perspectives by Krishna Mahajan. Otherwise, you will get no news in the newspaper about which law is going to be passed, which judgment Supreme Court said today, what High Court judge did yesterday. Today, at least 1/3 of your newspaper is about law. Today, law has gone beyond law courts and the legislations. International agencies are producing lot of soft laws. When I did law, I was largely doing the domestic law or municipal law. Today you have new vistas to conquer and learn. And everything is available with a click of mouse. My fourth point this evening is law teaching should be an exercise in provocation. Are you able to provoke your students? If your teaching does not provoke them, if it does not create waves in the class, if people do not talk about the discussions you had in your class, after your class in their hostels, if people do not look forward to your class, if they come to your class just for attendance, you are a failure as a teacher. Provocation, provoke your students. Whatever subject you are teaching, pick up something which will straight away provoke them. You may adopt a storytelling style of teaching. The stories and jokes should come to you naturally. Tabrez will remember, I had one teacher. He was also a teacher there. Tabrez was also there. In Kit Law School. So the student feedback of one teacher was that his class is very boring. It is very dry. So I told this teacher, who is now a senior teacher, that bring some humor in the class. If you cannot bring humor and wit in your class, you are not a great teacher. So this teacher, a young colleague, went to other colleagues and said, tell me some jokes. And then he wrote those jokes. And then next day when he is teaching section 10 of the contract, suddenly he will pick up a slip from the pocket, now a joke, and read out a joke. Now that is no joke. Jokes have to come naturally. There should be no artificiality in bringing wit and humor. It has to come on its own. Today, the Supreme Court issued notice to the Center and Election Commission on a PIL, a mischievous PIL, seeking a direction to the President of India to impose President rule in West Bengal. When a similar notice was issued 5 months back, I wrote an article in Hindu opposing it. And Supreme Court had stayed it. What Andhra Pradesh High Court did, Supreme Court stayed. What great wisdom has come to Supreme Court in 5 months that it has itself issued a notice. In Article 56, 356, it says, when on the report of the governor or either otherwise, the president is satisfied that there is a breakdown of the constitutional machinery or that the administration of the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the constitution, he may invoke 356, something like that. Report of the governor or otherwise. Does that or otherwise mean Supreme Court directive to the President of India? That would be ridiculous. Once you have a governor who is nominated by the President, who enjoys or remains in his office during the pleasure of the President, whatever revolt center wants, the governor sends. When there was a debate in the Constituent Assembly on this issue, Article 356, there were members like Naziruddin Ahmad who said we are drifting from he said the drafting committee headed by Ambedkar had become a drifting committee. Let us pack up and go to the market. How correct Naziruddin Ahmad was and how wrong Ambedkar was, we can see today. Ambedkar said Article 356 will remain a dead letter. It has been used more than 126-27 times, and most of the time for political reasons, to destabilize democratically elected governments. Where is a political ticket doctrine that Supreme Court has nothing to do with the politics, with the policy making? Whether precedent rule is imposed in a state or not is a purely political question. The court has no power whatsoever to give any directive to the center whether to impose or not impose precedents. The sixth thing I would say, there is a difference between a school teaching and a university teaching. In a school, the teacher teaches, the student learns. In a university setting, teacher and student learn together. So your student is your co-learner. You are learning along with him. While you teach, you learn. Therefore, don't think of your students as some passive stakeholders. They are an equal stakeholder. You learn many things from them. They will also learn few things from you. The traditional method of teaching was to give students a grasp of black letter law. Article so and so says so, Supreme Court decided so. No, that is gone. Today you can't teach the black letter law. Today you cannot teach Keshavananda Bharati by saying this is the majority opinion. It is 7-6 majority. What were those 6 opinions? What were the reasoning of those 6 opinions? How those 6 opinions are different from these 7 opinions? Is there any ratio in Keshavananda Bharati? These are all provocative questions. If you do not read cases from the reports or read Shukla or MP Jain or J.N. Pandey, then you cannot provoke your students. Therefore, my 7th point is, every single case you teach in the class, you yourself read the case in original from the reports. In any selection committee, whether it is of assistant professor or professor, wherever I go, I ask only one thing. Tell me the cases you have read in original, and I will ask you questions on them. Anyone who has not read a case in original, I don't interview them. So if you are doing constitutional law teaching, the modern critical constitutional law teaching is an entirely different enterprise. You may start with a question like, does Constitution really matter? Does it really affect our daily lives? Was there any class character of the Constituent Assembly? Was it elitist, feudal? And therefore that class character got reflected in the right to property as a fundamental right. Was the Indian constitution legitimately adopted? Was the American Constitution legitimately adopted? These are provocative questions. Look at the ideological leanings of judges. Do you try to find out why X judge gave Y judgment? There was a judge who quoted a report of National Cattle Commission in a Supreme Court judgment. The commission chairman was also a former judge and a chief justice of a high court, Justice Guman Lal Lodha. And in his report, without any scientific or empirical research, he said, cow dung is more precious than Kohinoor. Read judgments and read between the lines. Do you say in your class that constitutional law is nothing but politics? Supreme Court is a political institution. All political questions are finally decided by the Supreme Court. When you are teaching criminal law, do you raise this question? Why more and more crimes are created? Does punishment has any efficacy whatsoever? We are increasing penalties and punishments, and crime rate, instead of going down, is also going up. I wrote in one article that the biggest criminal law reform will be to abolish prisons. Why have jails? They serve no purpose. Do you do researches on the trial court judgments? At our times, they were not available. Today, they are available. You cannot be a good constitutional law or law teacher if you are not good in social sciences. There is a happy wedding of social sciences and humanities and law. If you have not read Aristotle, Plato, Machiavelli, Green, Hegel, and Marx, you cannot be a great law teacher. If you are not good in history, you cannot be a great law teacher. Similarly, you cannot do a good patent law teaching if you are not good in sciences. If you do not know where was the innovation. And my 10th point in terms of law teaching is, do you do research? Teaching and research go together. This whole UGC business of quantification of points has destroyed higher education. Everyone is searching for points. Your Vice Chancellor, young and dynamic Vice Chancellor, is having 2 weeks faculty development program. Great. But all teachers do refresher courses and orientation courses only because such courses are required to get promoted. If you want to be a good teacher, law teacher, you are young, go and do judicial clerkship in the chamber of a judge or an internship with a lawyer. Learn the real action. Now virtual court hearings are happening. Madhya Pradesh High Court has passed an order that all links of the court proceedings are put in public domain. Watch them. See how court proceedings take place. I think I have said enough. I need not take you further. My best wishes are with you, and I am sure you are going to have highly productive 2-week session. But if I can say 3 takeaways, be passionate about teaching. Teaching is a provocation exercise. And 3, treat your students as co-learners. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed very much enlightening and wonderful to hear you. Sir, can we take any questions from the participants?
Please, please.
Okay. Participants, if you have any questions, either you can write it in the chat box or you can open your microphone and ask. Participants, do you have any questions?
Good morning, sir. My name is Gulfisha. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Good morning, sir. I was a student in Aligarh Muslim University, sir, near 2008.
Okay.
I want to know, sir, even though you are teaching them student very passionately and you are giving all efforts, but sometimes some elements are there in the class, whether we should ignore those elements or we should take some stringent action against those students.
Is there majority or minority?
Few, sir. Minority, very few.
If there are few, you ignore them. Ignore them.
It's better to ignore.
Right.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, one more thing I want to ask. So, you are talking about the Supreme Court action. Do you find the role of the Supreme Court right now, the way the Supreme Court is behaving, that in this situation, what I am personally feeling, the quest for justice is like a quest for Holy Grail. And it's sometimes if somebody is telling me that the highest court of justice is there, but I am very hopeless in few situations because I was into practice for 8-9 years. And I have seen situation, I am seeing the worst scenario going on. So it's very depressing.
I have said that Supreme Court is a political institution. You have periods when the judges assert their power. There are periods when they behave like committed judges. As a teacher, criticize it. But in your criticism, be objective. Don't attribute motives to the judges. Criticize judgments, not judges.
We have to use the word it's not satisfactory or what, because it will be contempt of court also. If you will tell something, it's
Yes,
it's not.
Okay, Gulfashan. Anybody else who wants to take up any question?
Hello, this is Renu. May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, my question is, if you have any specific observations regarding ethics of online teaching?
Ethics of?
Online teaching. Means,
I am not a great advocate of online teaching because it is exclusionary. But something is better than nothing. If the choice is do no teaching or some teaching through online, then do some teaching through online. Provide students data packs, send them laptops, make it easy for them.
okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, Arpita Singh. Arpita Singh has raised hand.
Hello. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. Very good evening to all. And sir, thank you for such a eye-opening lecture on teaching and passion teachers should have. I have one question. Uh, have you ever faced? It's a personal question, and I would want to know your experience on that. That have has it ever occurred with you that in a classroom you're teaching and you're faced with a question by a student or a problem and you don't know answer to the question or a problem, so how do you handle or tackle such a situation in the classroom then?
It may happen because you may not know everything. Fortunately, it has not happened with me so far, and it has not happened because, as I said, I put in 4 to 5 hours for every lecture. But if it happens, then in that case, you should tell your students that I will answer this question tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, there is a question from Ananya Chatterjee. What are the objects of legal education in India?
I don't answer such stupid, general, vague questions.
Okay, sir.
For me, the answer of legal education is to do social justice lawyering. Someone who is a teacher is asking such a question. What is the object of legal education?
Sir, one more question is there from Vijay Shekhar. Sir, he's asking Constitution Order 2019 added clause 4 to Article 367. So, without any constitutional amendment and parliament intervention, how is it possible?
I have written on it. I have spoken on it. There is a provision which permits it, but of course, the constitutionality of the issue is in the Supreme Court. If you do little Google research, you can read number of articles I have written on this.
Do any participants have any other questions?
Yes, Dr. Ishita, I do have a question. Sir, if you don't mind, I am actually architecture college and I just wanted to attend this FDT because Abred sir is here, and but I just, when I started hearing you, I could not disconnect, and I heard your entire session, and actually हरी कोई और नहीं दूसरा मेरा मुझसे ही रहा मुकाबला मेरा. So I just love that, and since you are here, so I would take this opportunity to ask you one question. Just like you, I also prepare for my lectures a lot, and sometimes my family members say कि तुम अपने student से ज़्यादा पढ़ाई करती हो. So I have to be always
This is
prepared.
how it should be. This is how
Yes.
it should be.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I wanted to ask you, do you think we should connect emotionally with the students? Should we be involved emotionally?
It depends what you mean by emotionally. If it is an affair, possible, you are two human beings, there is no harm. Teacher and students can have an emotional bond. And I know many teachers marrying their students, many students marrying their teachers. This is one level. But the other level, emotional level, is that all your students are your family. In fact, with your family members, you are emotionally attached, in the sense, if they are sick, you feel bad. If they are not doing well, you feel bad. You care for them. Therefore, I know that with all the batches I have taught, with every single batch I have taught, I had an emotional bond with my students. And there is nothing bad about it. But emotional does not mean that they don't work and you give them marks. No. Emotional means you make them competent and acquire the skills which are required.
That's right, sir. Yes, because even with my faculty, I play naram garam, but exactly the students, just like with our children, we are hard, sometimes we are soft. So, but at times it fires because students think कि मैम तो बहुत अच्छी हैं, मैम तो बेटा करके बात करती हैं. Sometimes it backfires. So at times I have to.
We can live with it. We can live with it.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
Sir, can we take one more question last?
Yeah, please.
Sir, it is the question is from Prav Shetty. He is asking, sir, since Indian courts are burdened with pendency of litigation, sir, what if every law which legislature now enacts creates a separate forum for it? Since it would ensure...
adding too many forums is not a solution. Every law when you are making, you should do legislative impact assessment studies. That we are passing this law, how much litigation it will create, how many judges would be required, how many courts would be required. We are not doing that. Many a times we are passing laws and the state government has to provide for the infrastructure, which is absolutely unfair and wrong for any federal country. Just to give you one example, I think section 25 of the Negotiable Instrument Act, it led to the lakhs and lakhs of cases. So do legislative impact studies before you pass any law.
Thank you so much, sir. At the moment, we do not have any more questions.
Okay.
I would request...
So can we request one selfie with you? If I request all the members who are participating in the program, please sit on their video.
क्या है selfie celebrities के साथ ली जाती है, हम लोग क्या teacher हैं?
Sir, you are also celebrity for us. Those who want, please on your video so we can have selfie immediately, very fast. Yeah, on your video so we can. This time you can click. Yeah.
Anindya sir, are you there? Or Tanya ma'am, kindly click in.
And they can click selfie. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
कोविड खत्म हो जाए आएंगे हम दिल्ली आते रहते हैं, then I will come in person.
It will be great, sir. We'll
request the participants to quickly switch on their videos, please.
Done. Okay, Tabrez, eh?
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your time and very inspiring lecture. Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Participants, you are requested to remain in the meeting.
Yeah. So thank you very much of all you. But very patient listening to Fazan Mustafa, and also he was my teacher. So I just remember my earlier lectures because he taught us even preamble for 6 months. So the kind of depth he has, if we start one topic, you never know when it's going to be end. So I think we are lucky that he is able to at least deliver 1 hour lecture. That is great for us. So what we can do now, let us have a very, very quick introduction of all the participants, because also these occasions are time for networking, collaborating, because this is time for innovative research and also the multidisciplinary research where we can also jointly publish, jointly work on projects and all. So it will be also chance for networking and collaboration. So what I request all the participants, they can just on their video and just quickly introduce about themselves, about them, about the university, about the their career, what they're doing, very quick. So we can have the kind of understanding that participants' background, and we understand what kind of DP you are having, and we can also do networking. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My name is Venkata Subramanian, working as a faculty in Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. So my area is auditing, finance, and mercantile law.
Okay. Thank you, Venkatesh.
Good evening, sir. I'm
evening.
Varun this side, sir. I am presently a PhD student under you and under the university. I am also practicing law in Delhi High Court and lower courts. It's been almost 14 years. I'm mostly into civil litigation, sir.
Okay, welcome, Varun. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's an honor, sir. In fact, I wanted to say that sir reminded me of my grandfather. He was also teaching in Aligarh. He was also equally strict, just like him. So I could totally correlate, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Ritu Sharma, Jaipur National University, Jaipur, research scholar.
Okay, thank you, Ritu Sharma.
Good evening, sir. I'm Vishnu Kumar from DSNLU, Visakhapatnam. I'm a faculty over there. I teach ADR and tax law, sir. Actually, unfortunately, I can't. I mean, there's no camera. I'm on PC, you know. It doesn't have a camera, sir. I mean, sorry for that, but otherwise, that's my introduction, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Vishnu. Yeah.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Myself, Dr. Shivraman. I am assistant professor at MSc University, Gurgaon.
Thank you, Dr. Shivraman. Welcome.
Sir, this is Dr. Raja Venkatesh from, I am an associate professor and head of the department from VIT School of Law, VIT Chennai, sir. My area specialization is intellectual property rights as well as environmental law. I am in teaching for more than 10 years, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Venkatesan. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Very good evening, sir. This is Vyan Sharma from Amity Law School, Amity University, Rajasthan. I'm currently dealing with evidence and administrative law as such. Thank you.
Thank you, Vedant Sharma. Welcome.
Good evening, sir. This is Renu. I am an academic as well as a practitioner, and my areas are tech and trade law. I counsel startups as well as I am adjunct faculty at Bishop Cortins, Bangalore.
Thank you, Renu. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Preeti Anand. I am an assistant professor of law at Chanakya National University, and I'm very happy to be a part of the faculty development workshop.
Thank you, Preeti Anand. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, Neelam, go ahead.
Yeah, this side Dr. Neelam Sim, and I'm heading the Department of IPEM Law Academy. It is in Ghaziabad.
Okay, welcome, Dr. Neelam.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Niyati Pandey. Yeah,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
Good
Niyati.
afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, all the participants. I am Dr. Niyati Pandey. I am currently associated with Gujarat National Law University. I teach subjects like law of contracts, media law, and I've done my PhD in international humanitarian law. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Dr. Niyati. Thank you for the program.
Good evening, sir. My name is Aarti from GD. I'm from Gurgaon. I'm a research scholar in GD Goenka University. My supervisor is Dr. Preeti Ramni Nayyar. My area is human rights.
Okay, welcome, welcome, Aarti Lama. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ananya.
Yes, I am Ananya Chatterjee from Sister Nivedita University, Kolkata, and I'm presently recruited as assistant professor, and I do take classes on criminal law. Basically, my specialization is on criminal law. Thank you.
Thank you, Ananya. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Myself, Akanksha, sir. I'm a PhD scholar under your mentorship, and I take immense pleasure to be a part of this faculty development program.
Okay, Akansha, welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Professor.
sir.
This is Dr. Prema. Yes, Rabhi, madam, you can continue.
Ma'am, please continue. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm Suri Mathur, and I'm currently working as an assistant professor in Rajasthan School of Law for Women in Jaipur. And I teach law of contract and labor laws. Thank you.
Thank you, Surabhi. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Professor. This is Dr. Prema from VIT School of Law, Assistant Professor Senior. My specialization is international law and constitutional law. Thank you for the opportunity, Professor, and it is indeed hearing the welcome speech and also how motivated Professor was giving a speech on it. Thank you, Professor. We'll get benefited. Thank you.
Welcome, Dr. Prema. Thank you.
A very good evening to all. This is Arpita Singh. I'm research scholar from Northeastern Hill University, Meghalaya. Currently, I'm working under Professor J.J. Musica. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome, Arpita. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. I am myself, Dr. Hans. I am practicing in Gurgaon Court.
Okay, welcome, Dr. Hans. Thank you for the program.
Good evening, sir. It's me, Dr. Sthiti Dasgupta. I'm presently working as an assistant professor in ICFI Law School, Hyderabad.
Okay, welcome, Sthiti. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Chintu Jain.
Yes, sir.
Chintu, please
Good
continue.
afternoon, sir. I joined GD Goenka as a research scholar. I am doing PhD under the guidance of Ishita ma'am.
Okay, welcome, Chintu Jain. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Rabab, continue.
Yeah, sir. My name is Rabab Khan, and I am assistant professor in Faculty of Law, ANU. And my area of specialization is criminal law. Right now, I am teaching Indian Penal Code and law of torts. And I am also enrolled in PhD as a teacher candidate.
Okay, thank you, Rabab Khan. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Charu Maheshwari. I am pursuing a PhD from Jaipur National University, and I am currently working as an assistant professor in Oriental University, Indore.
Thank you, Charu. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir. I'm a scholar from Jaipur National University. I'm practicing advocate at Mumbai High Court.
Welcome, Rajat. Thank you for the program.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Vijay Sekhar. I am assistant professor at PIMR Indore, and at present I am teaching conflict of law and family law. Thank you all.
Thank you, Vijay Shekhar. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir. I'm Gulfishan Javed. I'm doing my part-time PhD from JD Goenka under the guidance of Tanya ma'am. And I'm also into practice from last approximately 9 years and visiting faculty guest lecturer in Amity.
Welcome, Kulkrishna. Thank you for the program.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. I am Umesh Udapure, Assistant Professor in NMD College, Gondia, Maharashtra. My specialization is criminology.
Thank you, Umesh. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else who is there left to introduce themselves?
Good evening, sir. Myself, Kindu Lenin. I'm a research scholar with Christ University, and my area of specialization is law of taxation. Thank you.
Okay, Tintu, thank you.
Hello,
Welcome.
everybody. My name is Dr. Sushma Sharma. I am Associate Professor of Constitutional and Administrative Law at the National Law Institute, University, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. I am happy to participate in this faculty development program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sushma. Welcome to the program.
Hello. Hello everyone. I am Radul Singh and I am a PhD research scholar at National Law Institute University under the guidance of Professor Dr. Sanjay Yadav sir. I am glad to be a part of this workshop. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Mridul. Welcome to the program.
Hello everyone, Shikra Lamba here. Hello all the participants. I have enrolled myself as a research scholar doing PhD from Jaipur National University. Thank you.
Thank you, Shikra. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
So, yeah.
I'm Bismi Gopalakrishnan, Dean Faculty of Law and Professor and Head, School of Indian Legal Thought, Mahatma Gandhi University, Kerala.
Thank you, Dr. Bismi. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Anyone left out?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Disha.
Sir, my name is Disha Atri and I am a PhD scholar at JNU Jaipur. Sir, this is a very enlightening session that we had and I am really thankful that you have organized this program. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Disha. Welcome to the program.
Sir, namaste.
Good evening, everyone.
The forum.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Currently, I'm working at Gujarat Law Society, Ahmedabad, and I am a research scholar with School of Law, Gujarat University.
Okay, welcome, forum. Thank you for joining the program.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Megha Nagpal and I'm currently working as Assistant Professor at Symbiosis Law School, Noida. I'm also pursuing PhD in the area of crime victims. Happy to be part of the workshop.
Welcome, Megha. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Sir, namaste.
Yeah.
I am Dr. Sri Gauri. I am working as Assistant Professor in PG Department of Legal Studies and Research, Acharya Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sri Gauri. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, good evening. I am Rajkumar from Bangalore. I am pursuing my final year LLM, final semester. Very happy to be a part of this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajkumar. Welcome to the program.
Okay, sir, I think anybody else is there?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. All the faculty members. I am M. Vijay Bhaskar. I am a faculty at Capital Law College, Bhubaneswar, and I am really looking forward to attend all the sessions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vijay Bhaskar. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir. My name is Madhu. I am pursuing my final year LLM from KLE Societies Law College, Bangalore. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madhu. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir. I'm Professor Yamini. I'm Assistant Professor at Alliance School of Law in Bangalore.
Okay, Yamini. Welcome to the program. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir.
So all is done, or anybody is still left out? So really great to see that we have really truly national participation, but we have participants from all over the country, whether north, south, east, west. So this will be giving a very kind of a holistic picture of the country, and also we can see the legal education standard in the country. And definitely this program will be, I think, great support and help to raise the value and the standards of your teaching and research. In fact, why we said this is a workshop, because we expect that speaker or the resource person plus the participant all will work together as a workshop. So that's why we said workshop. And as what I mentioned in the beginning, that we expect all of you to, because we are focusing teaching as well as research, and as mentioned by Fazan Mustafa, that teaching and research are going together. We cannot separate. Only a good researcher can be a good teacher. So that's why you have to develop, if you want to become a good teacher, first thing you develop as a good researcher. And rightly mentioned by Fazan Mustafa that you have to do 4 or 5 hours research, not reading, do research for 4 or 5 hours, then you can come to the class for teaching. So that's why we have to learn how to become a good teacher and how to become a good researcher, because always a chance for improvement, and nobody is perfect teacher and perfect researcher. So we expect that during the participation, what we expect all of you to do a prior reading of the topics already assigned for all the days, and then during the lecture, try to write any queries are there, write down, and at the end, what we are doing 1.5 hour kind of the interaction, and half hour we are giving for the interaction. So 1.5 hour will be a lecture by the resource person, and then half hour we are giving you to ask question, because not asking question, sometime you can share your thought, your ideas, your perspectives, because in law there is no answer, because on every problem there is lot of perspective and the kind of the directions. That's why we are not having a final say, and law is not a logic. If a law is a logic, even the final say can be coming from the trial court. There is no requirement of High Court, Supreme Court. So there is a lot of chances of the innovations, interaction, creativity, okay, analysis, and also the dynamics. So that's why we expect all of you to participate. You do a prior reading, listen the lecture carefully, and after the 1.5 hour lecture, you try to interact with the speaker or share your thoughts and ideas. This will be the kind of the process. And also what we do, we are expecting from you a kind of a course plan, or kind of a write-up for a research problem. So I request Ishta, please explain the participant what is the process for writing these two assignments, and how they can go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure. So, starting with the objectives of our FDW. So we have formulated this FDW, that is Faculty Development Workshop, basically to acquaint the participants with the innovative and contemporary teaching pedagogies and legal research methods. This is the first thing which we are looking for. Second, to equip and train the young academicians and other participants with the ability to effectively assimilate and impart knowledge in different specializations of law. Then, we are looking forward to acquaint the participants with the upcoming research areas in different fields of law. Then, to provide the overall teaching and research capabilities of participants, to provide an opportunity to the participants to deliberate with the leading scholars and academicians to face the challenges posed by virtual medium for teaching and legal research in view of the ongoing pandemic. With these objectives, we have launched with the Faculty Development Workshop. I believe all the participants will have a learning experience. And as our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir has already stated, we are looking for assignments on the on 9th and 10th, which will be a presentation in a presentation format for both the days. Candidates will be selected. I will shortly discuss now what are the procedures which are involved. The candidates will be given the timing, and they have to present before this particular forum, before this particular workshop. First, they have to submit the assignments, and the assignments will be selected, and then they have to, selected candidates will be informed, and then they have to they have to present before this forum. This is for research. Same goes with teaching. On the very last day, that is on 16th, prior to the valedictory session, there will be presentations of their teaching assignments, where you have to prepare your course plan of any particular subject or any particular course which you are teaching or which you would be teaching in the upcoming semester. You have to give us a detailed plan, the course layout as how you would be teaching. If it would be going for the virtual medium, how would you teach in the virtual mode? What are the challenges you will be facing or you have faced and how you will overcome them? So these are the certain things which we have kept within this faculty development workshop. And accordingly, we have circulated the procedure for submitting your assignments, both for research and teaching. You work accordingly. I will once again explain to you how you would do it. Just a second. Just a second, I will share my screen. Is it visible?
No, madam.
Okay, then I will. I think there is certain technical problems from my side, so I would be discussing. There are.
Ma'am, should I
assignments-
share?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Just give me a moment, ma'am.
Yes, sure.
Your presentation has started actually now.
Okay, I think because of. Okay.
You can
So
stop,
should-
I'll share.
Okay. Okay. I've stopped, ma'am. You can share.
Yes. Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. So there are two legal assignments which have to be submitted, legal research assignments basically. The first legal assignment, the proposition is develop research methodology and formulate research hypothesis for a research paper. So the methodology part and the hypothesis should be very well mentioned. If you are writing a particular paper, highlights of your paper would be the research methodology and the research hypothesis. Because on the very first day, from the very second day onwards, we are starting with the literature review process. On the third day, we have developing research methodology for legal research. On the very fourth day, we have formulating and testing the hypothesis. So the most part of the research would be completed on the very fourth day. So it's very proper that you can submit it on 5th regarding of your first legal assignment, which will focus mainly upon the literature review and statement of the problem for the research. That should be highlighted in your article or in your paper, whichever you are writing. On the very second assignment, you have to develop the research methodology and formulate research hypothesis for a research paper. And that you have to submit, and the deadlines are also there. I'm stating that. So these are the two work which is being provided to all the participants. They have to submit on the scheduled date which is mentioned, and we will be selecting the participants. We will be selecting the assignments, and accordingly participants will be informed, and they have to do their presentations on 5th and 6th respectively. Talking about week 2, which is basically on teaching methodology. So we have on the very first day, that is of week 2, that is on July 12th, we will be discussing on selecting teaching as a profession and the required basic skills. On second day, that is on 13th of July, we will be discussing on collection of teaching materials and developing teaching pedagogy. On the third day, that is July 14th, we will be discussing on Bloom's taxonomy and fixing the outcomes for developing teaching pedagogy. On the very fourth day, that is on July 15th, we will be discussing evaluation methods and testing the outcome of the courses. So keeping in mind the 4 sessions, you have to culminate in one, and then you have to provide us your teaching assignments. And the teaching assignment will deal with a detailed course plan of the subject of your choice, which you will be taking in future or which you are already into the process. And those from those teaching assignments again will select the participants, and they would be required to present those assignments on day 5th before the valedictory session. Talking about the deadlines, I think this PowerPoint presentation is being provided to the participants. So the portal gets opened for the submission of assignment from 5th July itself, that is from today itself. Portal closes for submission of your first legal research assignment is on 8th of July till 11 o'clock. Then portal closes for the submission of second assignment is on 9th of July at 11 a.m. And then the portal closes for submission of teaching assignment is on 15th of July at 6 o'clock. So this is the deadline which is being fixed, and you have to provide your assignments without failure before the on the scheduled date. One more thing which we want to say is that there is a requirement of 80% of participation and attendance in this entire 2 weeks of faculty development workshop. Without 80% of attendance, you are not entitled to receive the certificates of the FDW. If any participant have any questions regarding this?
Before the query, let me also announce that we are planning to also certify the top best 3 course plans. Once you submit, our team will review, and then we will be allowing the top scorers in the written form to make a presentation, and after the presentation, we'll select the top best 3 course plans, and we'll be certified that these 3 faculty have first, second, third levels in the designing a course plan, because designing a course plan is a great skill right now, because generally you are given a syllabus by a law school, and then depending on your level of expertise, level of awareness, and also inclusiveness, you can refer the recommended ratings, cite the current cases, cite the current articles, commission reports and all, and also you give a plan that how you are going to deliver the lectures and the particular course. So this shows a great skill of a teacher, that how, because course plan is first level of success. If you cannot develop a good course plan, there is least possibilities that you can develop a good lecture. So foundation of the teaching will depend on how best you can design a course plan. We are going to provide a lot of importance to this skill, and then we are going to cover all these areas, how to develop good course plan, and then we'll be testing and certifying the 3 faculty will be given certificate that first, second, third rank as a developing course plan. Accordingly, in the area for the planning for the research, and we expecting you to develop yourself a topic, develop the kind of the methodology of the research, develop a abstract and all. Then again, you will be presenting top entries because we have around 80 participants. So all 80, we don't have this too much time to allow everybody. We will be selecting the top scorers, and then we will be giving them chance to present their kind of the this research work. And then after the presentation, we'll be going to select again top 3, the best the entries who are able to develop top 3 best kind of the concepts for research. So this way, we are going to certify 3 in teaching, 3 in research. 6 faculty who are participating in the program will be awarded the certification. Okay, Ishita, you can go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the participants, if you have any queries regarding your assignments or your research assignments or teaching assignments, you are always feel free to contact us. We have prepared one WhatsApp group. If you have any queries regarding it, you can post your queries. We will be answering all your queries as soon as it reaches to us. And as already I've stated, participation is very important and attendance is also important. 80% attendance is mandatory for this program in order to avail the certificate. Now, anybody having any questions in this regard?
Madam, good evening, madam. Any feedback form is there, ma'am?
Yes, every day you will be provided with a feedback form, and you have to mandatorily Yes, you have to mandatorily fill the feedback form.
Thank you.
Ma'am, this is Dr. Prema.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, what we have to supposed to do today? Because we are traveling, few of us are traveling, and it takes nearly 6:30 for us to reach home.
Okay, ma'am.
So you have given some deadline by 6 o'clock, it seems. I heard like that.
Ma'am, today the portal opens. Ma'am, today the portal opens, and there is a particular date being given. The portal closes for LR assignment 1, that is legal research assignment 1, is on 8th of July. And the portal closes for LR assignment 2, that is legal research assignment 2, is on 9th of July. And for teaching assignment, it is 15th of July. So, ma'am, today the portal is getting opened.
Okay, ma'am. So, is that the full research paper we have to upload, or is that only the synopsis of it with the abstract?
Ma'am, if you are in a capacity of providing us the entire research paper, we would accept that also. But the highlights will be as with what is being mentioned in the particular dates.
Okay, fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other participants?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, can we receive this all information on the WhatsApp group, because of the network issue, I missed some information.
Yes, ma'am. You would be getting all information in the WhatsApp group. The PPT is already shared at your mail addresses, and respectively, it will be shared in the WhatsApp group also. And whatever the speakers would be dealing with for the next session, we would be trying to provide you the course material also for that particular session.
Great. Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody else?
Hello, ma'am. I had a question.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, whether we will be having again a class of Dr. Mustafa on the topic researching the subject, empirical versus doctrinal method, or we won't be having that?
Sir, he was scheduled for today only. We will try our best to bring him again. Let's see.
Okay, thank you, madam.
All the participants are requested to fill the feedback form, which will be circulated, and on day-to-day basis, you have to fill the feedback form. Sir, should we conclude now?
Okay, I think if there any further query or any clarification, any query, anybody, or
Ma'am, is the Google form posted in the chat box?
Yes, ma'am. It is posted in the chat box.
Ma'am, I just went off due to network. Can you just post it again?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. We will post it again.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Actually, I'm Dr. Sushma speaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Ishita ji, you have clarified it very well. I've seen your slides also regarding the submission of assignments. But because certain questions were asked, now it little bit became confusing. Like when we are supposed to write and send to you the literature review and the other aspects of the research paper, we need not send the research paper. We just have to select a topic. And based on that, we just have to send you that portion which is mentioned in the assignment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That is the highlight of the assignment.
Yeah,
If any of the participant wants to prepare a complete paper, that is also acceptable.
that is a different thing, but the basic requirement is only to submit that part which is being
Yes,
asked. Thank you so
yes,
much.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Thank you.
Any other
Okay.
query? Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
think no. I think there's no query. Any queries there? Okay. Since there is no query, we can close for today.
Yes, sir.
So this topic is left out because the empirical versus doctrinal method, identifying the subject of research and developing abstract and methodology for the research paper. So this topic is left out. We will work out that we'll try to arrange some session on this topic. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we can close for today, and
Yes,
then I think we can share the reading for tomorrow's topic.
Yes, sir. So tomorrow's topic is so I would be discussing all the topics along with the resource persons.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, that is day 2, 6th of July, the topic is literature review, formulating the basis for the study, developing literature review for the research paper. The resource person would be with us is Professor Dr. Azim Khan Pathan sir. He is the Professor of Law and ex-Dean of School of Law, Golgothias University. On the very third day, that is 7th of July, we will be having the discussion on the topic, developing research methodology for legal research. The resource person would be Professor Dr. Rakesh Chopra, Professor, Department of Law, UPES. On the very fourth day, that is 8th of July, we will be having the topic, formulating and testing the hypothesis. And the resource person is Professor Dr. Kishori Bhatia. He is Professor, National Law University, Jodhpur. And on 8th and 9th, we are having assignment presentations. Then coming to week 2, from 12th of July to 16th of July, on the very first day, we have selecting teaching as a profession and the required basic skills. The resource person is Professor Dr. Afzal Wani sir, Professor, Department of Law, GGSIPU, Delhi. On 13th of July, we will be discussing on collection of teaching materials and developing teaching pedagogy. The resource person is Professor Dr. Ajay Kumar, Dean, Academic Affairs and Law, HOD, National Law University, Patna. Then on 14th, we have Bloom's Taxonomy and fixing the outcomes for developing teaching pedagogy. We have with us our own Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Tabriz Ahmed. He would be discussing on this topic. And on day 4th, that is 15th of July, we will be discussing evaluation methods and testing the outcome of the courses. And the resource person is Professor Dr. Anjali Meetha Sharan, Dean, Research and Development, GT Goenka University. And on the last day, we have again presentations of the teaching assignments, followed by the valedictory session. And the chief guest for the valedictory session will be Professor Dr. Ranveer Singh sir. He is former Vice Chancellor of NALSAR and NLU Delhi. So we have this resource persons with that, and the first topic which we have today, we would be schedule it someday in between.
Okay, thank you all. I think it is good to go for today. I think we have done sufficient kind of interaction.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
So with this, I would extend my vote of thanks to you, sir, first, because you have been an inspiring person in all to all our faculty members. Because of you only, we have managed to take up this program in very short period of time. Thank you so much, sir. I would thank all my colleagues, all my faculty members who have been very, very supportive, and all the participants. We thank you for joining us in this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you all of you. Please take care. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, madam.
you, sir.
The feedback link will be open for another 10 minutes. Kindly fill it.
Ma'am, shall we close the session now?
Sir, we can keep it for another 5 minutes for filling up of the form.
Okay. So I'll stop the recording now.
Yes, sir.